Good afternoon, good morning. I hope you guys are having fun. Today we are going to focus on electrons. We've talked about the atom. The atom is made up of 3 subatomic particles, protons, neutrons, and electrons. The protons are in the nucleus. The neutrons are in the nucleus. Those electrons are in that electron cloud outside the nucleus. We want to locate all the electrons in the atom. Now, the thing you need to remember is we cannot determine the exact location of an electron. All it is a probability, okay? I can say there is a 98% chance that there is an electron right here at this particular moment. It's all a probability. We cannot determine the exact location of an electron. So, in terms of our electron cloud, we know that we have these energy layers, okay, around that nucleus. So if we think about it, it's more of like an onion, okay? So we have my nucleus in the center, and then we have these layers, is what we refer to as energy levels. And there are a certain number of electrons in each energy level. And we're going to talk about that at another time. But where these electrons are actually located are in these energy levels, and they're actually in what we refer to as orbitals. Orbitals are where my electrons are located, okay? There is actually 4 different types of orbitals that we're going to talk about. There are only 4 types of orbitals that electrons can be located in. Now, the thing you need to remember is there is a maximum number of electrons in any orbital, no matter what size or shape the orbitals are. In any orbital, I can only fit 2 electrons. That is it. I can fit 1 or none, but I can fit no more than 2. The maximum number of electrons in any orbital is 2. Okay? So we're going to start with sublevel number S, or letter S. This sublevel, and if I forgot to tell you guys, which I did, you guys need to take notes on page 11. It's this top box that I'm basically filling out on the board as we talk about all this stuff. The first orbital is what we refer to as the S orbital. The reason why S orbital is it's sphere-shaped. Okay? Now, how many electrons can I fit in this S orbital? It's only 2. Okay, remember, I just said only 2 electrons can fit in any orbital. Yes, I skipped a column. I'm sorry. So now, how many orbitals can I have in each energy level? And that's what we're talking about as we go through this. Okay, so I can have an S orbital in the first energy level, S orbital in the second, third, fourth, fifth, as I go out. But how many S orbitals can I have? When we determine this, we think about it as our X, Y, and Z axis. Remember that Z axis is what makes it 3-dimensional. So if I arrange it on the X axis, it looks like this. The Y axis, it looks the same way. The Z axis, it looks the same exact way. So I can only have 1 S orbital. That is it. Okay? So since in this S orbital I can only fit 2 electrons, the total number of electrons in this S orbital is 1 times 2 is 2. Okay? So now I'm going to go on to my next one. This is my P orbital. In my P orbital looks like 2 S orbitals kind of stuck together. So I kind of took a toothpick, kind of like a peanut, okay, or a dumbbell. So this is my P orbital. How many electrons can fit in this P orbital? Notice how it is bigger than my S orbital. But how many electrons can I fit in this P orbital? Only 2. Because no matter what size and shape of the orbital, I can only fit 2 electrons in it. So now here we go in terms of the number of orbitals. If I arrange it on the x-axis, it looks like this. The z-axis like this. Notice how this and this looks different? Because it is. Whereas this, X, Y, and Z, no matter which way I put it, it was exactly the same. And then my Z-axis looks like this. So I can have 3 different types of p orbitals. What is the total number of electrons that I can fit in all my p orbitals? So I just take 3 times 2, and that's my 6. Okay. Now I'm going to go down to my D and my F. So we have S, P, D, and F. So let's quickly fill out D and F in this column. Because how many electrons can fit in any orbital, no matter what shape or size? It's 2. 2, 2, 2. So 2 and 2. So now let's look at my d orbital. My d orbital is as if I put 2 p's together and shoved them together. It has 4 lobes. Okay? Now, yes, these look smaller. It's because I didn't have any bigger ones that will actually stick together. But even though there's 4 lobes here, I can still only fit 2 electrons in that orbital. Okay? Now you're going to have to trust me on this one because it gets a little tricky in terms of that X, Y, and Z. But I can have 5 different orbitals for my Ds. Okay? Which then means I get 10 total electrons in my d orbital. Okay? If I look at my f orbital, it's this funny shaped one. Okay? So it's almost as if you have 3 p orbitals kind of shoved all together. It almost looks like a flower, hence the f orbital. This one, I can have 7 different orbitals. Okay? So 7 different orbitals times 2, I can fit a total number of 14 electrons in my f orbital. So here's a few things that you need to remember. Okay? My orbitals, no matter what shape or size, I can only fit 2 electrons in that orbital. That is it. Whether it has 1 lobe or 6 lobes, I can only fit 2 electrons in it. And they are randomly somewhere in that orbital. My s orbital, I can only have 1. P3, D5, F7, 1, 3, 5, 7. Number of orbitals, or number of electrons in each, 2. How did I get the total number of electrons? I just took the number times the number of electrons. So 2, 6, 10, 14. Okay? The thing you must remember, electrons, it's all a probability in terms of the location. Orbitals are within my energy levels, and it's where my electrons are located. And I can only fit 2 electrons in each orbital. Have fun, guys.